Hello, TCLT, beautiful people. If you are receiving this and you're in TCLT 1 or 2, just to let you guys know, right now we're in the part of the course where we're talking a lot about confronting current reality. Just so you can have some reference for this conversation. Mark Lewis said something to me last week, as he often does. He leaves me with a thought that springs into so many thoughts that wheedle their way down into so many different things. And one of the things he said to me was that reality is the ultimate other. Think about that for a moment. Reality is the ultimate other. And as I started thinking about that, concurrently, I have been present to noticing what it's like to really face someone eye to eye, thou to thou, and have a genuine connection. And how that genuine connection, I find for me, and for everyone I've talked to, that there are sensations and feelings and quality of an experience that I get from that I get nowhere else. I mean, I have beautiful experiences with nature and success and all that stuff, but there's something about facing somebody eye to eye intimately that creates an experience that is like as if I have a new sense organ that only receives those sensations. And I was thinking about other reality, stuff, matter, right? Like reality, if no matter what you think, you can't walk through walls, right? There's something about reality that it has an otherness in the sense that it's referred to like when someone says to you, you have a pipe dream, or you're in fantasy land. You basically, what they're saying is they're referring to you're not in reality. Because one of the things I've noticed is that when I have an idea, I've never had reality go, knock on my door, open the door and go, here you go. Rather, I have an idea, I want something, and I have a vision, and then I create a plan, and then I go out, and then I hit the wall. Now, this is where I started to have a lot of thoughts about what Mark said about reality. Is, what is my relationship to when I hit the ultimate other? Just like in a relationship with a person, I can make that person an it, or they can become a thou. A fundamental different experience. Like with a human being, when you're a means to my own ends, you're an it. You're like a chair. But when you're an end in itself, we discover each other through that relationship. That's almost impossible to conceptualize. And just like with reality, what would happen if the ultimate other were to become a thou? What would that take? As I've thought about it, it seems to me that the difference ultimately between reality having the phone go off just like that, and the difference between that ultimate other being the limitation upon which give me all the reasons why I'm not good enough or can't do that or all those kinds of things, such that I end up drawing the invisible box in which my current narratives or stories or thoughts about myself can actually hold, and I stay within that box, determines my relationship to that wall or to that other. When I make it an it, I define myself as not that, shouldn't go there. However, if when I hit reality and I go, and rather than going into shame, I look back and I ask, who are you? And I start to put my attention on it. And like anything, when we put our attention on things, all of a sudden, when our attention is freed from our precepts, and we can really see, we start to make distinctions. And reality starts to open up like a gift. Such that when I hit the barrier actually isn't a barrier. It's the line that connects. And reality, I just have this sense, if I were reality, I'm like, here I am. Here I am. Like, all I need you to be is you, and I'll give myself to you. But I ain't going to give it to you until you're really you. And you got to get that you discover yourself through me. Facing, confronting reality. Current reality. So, as we are going through the stages of coaching, and you're starting to make your outcomes, I know one of the things that I would be inclined to do would to have outcomes be very, very deep and spiritual and psychological or in something like that in nature. What I'm going to suggest actually is look at the reality of your life. Look at baseline. How much money do you have in the bank? Do you know what you're going to do in the next year? Do you have a plan? Do you know how to execute that plan? Do you have savings? What are your relationships like? Are there any incompletions? Are you where you want to live? Do you know where you're going? Do you know where you are? Money, food, shelter. Is that handled for you? Reality. Look at that stuff and start to, what I would really encourage you to do is to create your outcomes around base level. How are you living your life right now? And what's going to be amazing is that the moment that you do that, all that depth that you want to attain will show up in the face of starting to handle those things. So, in a moment, Mark is going to come on and we're doing the Eye to Eye, Thou to Thou course. So whether or not you're interested in actually taking the course, definitely if you're interested in taking the course, watch these videos. But even if you're not interested in taking the course, when you think about your relationship to reality, and your relationship to when you hit a wall or a barrier, and where you are in terms of base level money, food, shelter, basic fundamental reality, and your relationship to that. I still watch these videos in terms of that, and you may, through the distinctions that he says and he talks about, if you listen to it through those frames, you may discover some really, really great things. Sayonara.